Hello and welcome. So now we can start creating the head brace. So to do that, let me just create a new sketch here. And to make the shape of the headband, or the head brace, sorry, let's actually use an ellipse here. So I've gone ahead and measured already what I'd like to use for the ellipse. So I think a 125 millimeters is going to be best for me here, and 100 millimeters here. Okay, great. And so now what we want to do is create a line that is tangent to the ellipse coming off right about here. So let's get that tangent constraint going, and let's do 30 millimeters here. So tangent there, perfect, we have the constraint. And now I just want to create a line here and mirror this guy over. So let's just do that. And now we can trim this part of the ellipse. Great. So now what I want to do is offset this ellipse by 20 millimeters. And then I want to create a line here that is at a right angle to this line here. And then it's going to be coming out at 12 millimeters. And then I'm just going to connect these 2 points here. And we should be good. So I'm just going to drag these dimensions out. So I'm just going to do the same here. So let's do 12, not 123, there, and connect there. Perfect. So now what I want to do is create some fillets here. So since I did 12 millimeters here, let's do 6 for each side. So 6 here. And then the same on this side. So 6 and 6. Perfect. And now to create the buckle part, let's connect the point where this line and this offset of the ellipse meets, and the ellipse and where this line meets. So that should be right there. And I'm going to connect the center point of these two fillets. Perfect. So now to place the buckle, I'm just going to connect the center point of this line to the center point of this line right there. Perfect. So now let's just create a line. So I think I'm going to go 15 millimeters out. And there we go. So now I'm going to start creating the part of the buckle that locks the buckle in. So let's think here. I'm gonna make the head of the buckle 8 millimeters. So I want 8.5. So I'm gonna have a little bit of clearance so that the head can get past the hole here. And then for the base of the buckle, I think I'm gonna do 4.5 millimeters. So I'll do 2.5 offset on this line, and then again a negative 2.5 offset. So that's 5 millimeters total. So let me just trim these lines here, delete that, and then I'm just gonna give these dimensions, so 3 and 3. There you go. Let me just adjust all of these. Perfect. And now I'm just going to connect these 2 points here with a 2-point circle, and I'm just going to trim all these edges here. And there we have our first profiles. So now we want to go and create our buckles for to actually connect to the Oculus. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go right about, so just think where you want the head brace to be. So if you want the head brace to be a little bit more up, create the buckles down here. If you want it to be a little bit more on the bottom side, go to the top here. So I think I'm gonna want my buckles right about there, and I'm just gonna make it a line tangent to the circle again, or the ellipse, sorry. So now what I want to do is from this point here, the start point of this line I just created, just do 90 degrees across. Perfect. So now we can delete this line. And that's the whole intention here, just to get a perfect line here. So now what I'm going to do is go to the center point of this line and just copy the same procedure as down here. So what I suggest doing is, if you're gonna have the brace at the top here, so you want the head brace a little bit more to the bottom side, I suggest you make the smaller part of the buckle facing upwards, so that you can lock it in with gravity, so it won't pop off accidentally. So I'm just going to create a line here, perpendicular, and then offset it 2.5, and then negative 2.5. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just trim it here and here. Oh, oops, it's Control Z. So here. And then I'm just going to use this point here and just do 3 millimeters, not inches. And then again 3. Perfect. So let's drag that out there and just trim this away. Perfect. And now again, let's just do a 2-point circle and just trim everything away. Great. Okay, so now what I want to do is just select all this, so just shift and double click and then mirror this across this line. Perfect. And so there we have our 2 buckles to connect to the actual Oculus, and then to fold over and create that sort of concave-like shape. So let's just highlight all these faces and extrude by 1.5 inches, or millimeters, sorry. And let's start creating the buckle for the actual loop. So let's create a sketch on this plane, and then I'll project this fillet, and these 2 lines here. So I'll connect both these points here and the center points of the fillets, and then connect the 2 center points here. So let's go out about 8 millimeters here, and then let's start with 4.5 millimeters. This will be the base of the buckle, so let's extrude by let's do 2.5, since the thickness of this is actually 1.5, so 2.5. Perfect. So now I'll just create the head of this buckle. Let's do 8 millimeters there, and then extrude, and I'll make this 2 millimeters, and then I'll fillet this by 0.75, and then I'll fillet this edge right here so that we won't need supports later on when we print this. So I'll just go all the way down right there. Perfect. And there we have our head brace. So now we can move on to create the buckles to connect our brace here to the Oculus. So let's go ahead and do that.